Hey there, Abiding fam, and welcome back to my channel for another journal flip through in my Abiding journal. My name is Kelsey Lee, for those of you who are new, and if you are completely new and don't know what I mean when I say my Abiding journal, essentially I'm talking about my daily journal. This year, 2021, I am endeavoring to journal every single day of this year in what I call my Abiding Journal. If you want to learn more about my Abiding Journal, because I'm actually not doing this alone, we are doing it as a community, and people are participating in this in different ways. Some people are doing daily journaling like I am, some are doing weekly journaling, some are just having fun when they want to and really not putting any rules around it. But we are basically just trying to get into our journals and explore our abiding creativity and document our lives in some way. So if you want to learn more about that, I have a playlist that I will put up here in the cards for you that walks you through a little bit more about my abiding journal and what I've been doing thus far, besides doing journal with me's and things like that here on my channel, is I've been doing flip throughs at the end of every month. So I have one here already for January and February, and now today we're going to be diving into all of the spreads I created for March. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in, and I'm going to flip to the correct page here in my journal. So here we are on March 1st. So for March 1st and 2nd, I was kind of going with a winter turning into spring vibe with the colors that I chose and some of the stickers. And I'm actually not going to talk about these two entries too much because I did just post a journal with me for March 1st, which is also a little bit of an Amazon haul where I share with you guys the Botanist sticker anthology, which is where all of these stickers are from. This is a really magnificent sticker book. If you are somebody who loves stickers or knows somebody who loves stickers, I cannot recommend this enough. It is an absolute treasure of a book, and I recommend it to anybody who collects stickers or uses them in any way. And like I said, I got this from Amazon. I know that some people have commented on my last video saying that it's no longer available from Amazon, but you can get it from other sellers. It's just more for the retail price than for the cheaper Amazon price. So who knows if it will be back in stock directly from Amazon or not, but if it is, I will have the link down below for you guys. Even at retail price, I think it's a bargain. It's $24.99 in the US. Maybe it costs a little bit more depending on where you're buying it from. But all that to say, I do not control Amazon's prices or their stock, so when I share products with you guys, I am always hopeful that they'll stay in stock and stay at the prices that I personally bought them for you guys, but I can't obviously guarantee that. But all that to say, that is where these stickers are from, and regardless of how or where you buy that book, I do highly recommend it. And then in that haul as well, I got some new washi tape that I shared, and also these amazing alphabet and number stencils, which I also have linked down below. These are from dovetailsvintage.co.uk and basically are just some alphabet and number stencils that I again found on Amazon. And you're going to see me use these a lot in the month of March because I was really playing around with these and using them in different ways. Here I used them with pen. Here I used them with ink through the stencil using a baby wipe. And I actually did the same technique of a baby wipe through a stencil with that stamping technique over here using a different kind of stencil. So that's a really fun technique to add color to your page or to do some lettering as well. Here is a great example of a very simple day and therefore a very simple page where I have very minimal journaling, and I chose to just do my date really big to take up a lot of space, but I really like the aesthetic of this. Even though it's actually not telling me much about that day, it still is taking some time to get creative in my journal, which is also very important. And then over here, I again used the stencil. This time I did outlining and then colored it in with my Tombow brush pens. And apparently March 4th is World Book Day. I wasn't totally convinced by the different sources I found because there were a few different dates that I found on the web, but I decided to roll with it. So I put my little to be read printable on here and then just listed out a list of books that I plan on reading at some point this year. Over here again is a pretty simple entry. I again used that same stencil. Like I said, I was really having fun experimenting with that this month, and here I just used some of my gelatos and a baby wipe to put the color through the stencil. And then this page is mostly journaling with just a few stickers here in the middle that represent different things, like what movie we watched that day, and I had a few faith-related stickers on this day as well, since the movie we watched was faith-based. We watched Breakthrough, which I do highly recommend if you haven't seen it. Over here is a simple yet complicated page because a lot of this page is actually taken up by this photo that I have here. It's a collage of when we went to see the snow geese migration that happens at a place called Middle Creek, not far from where we live every year. And so we always try and go and see that migration because it is just truly mind-blowing. It's like being dropped into a National Geographic documentary. And so that is most of the page. And then I did a little bit of a gelato background and my journaling here. But over here I have this really cool tip-in piece that is basically a little clear photo pocket that I filled with little confetti pieces. And I also put in a few little feathers that I happen to have from a pillow. So what you can see, there's the feathers in there and then the little confetti pieces. And what's cool about this is that the things inside really can move around and it's a very interactive element. And then when you flip it up, it has the title underneath, which is Snow Geese Migration. And I did a little bit of embossing here for the snow geese, and also did the date and drew a few little geese silhouettes. So I really, really love the way that that turned out and the way that the little confetti pieces kind of represent the fact that when you go to see the snow geese, there are thousands and thousands of them. So this really represents the multitude of snow geese that you see when you go to see the migration. And if you want to learn more about how I created this tip-in, don't worry, I have a journal with me coming out soon for this entry where I will tell you more in depth about how to create a tip-in like this in your own journal. Next up, for March 7th, we have a fun page where I have a little green tea bag that I created out of washi strips, and then I just used the washi to tape down one of the little tea cards that comes on your tea bag. So I just kept the string and then taped it down using the washi and created the little green tea bag from that. And I left this piece just kind of floppy because I thought it was fun for it not to be taped down and it can kind of just be mobile and move around the page. And then on this page I have a little watercolor that I did that I just glued in here. On this particular day I was doing a lot of watercolor painting, trying to create a piece of art to donate for our church's women's retreat because they were going to be doing some giveaways with different artwork from Liberty Church members. So I thought that was a really cool thing that I wanted to participate in, and so on that day I was just creating a lot of art. And this is one of the pieces that I didn't think was quite good enough for that purpose, but I did like it enough to stick it in my own journal to represent that day. Over here is a great example of a very simple, quick, and easy spread where you can really create something that is beautiful and represents your day in a very short amount of time. This one really is just stickers and washi tape and then my journaling in the middle. And I've really enjoyed, when I don't have as much to say, just giving myself more spacing between each line. And I find that that not only is best when I don't have a ton to say, but also is really aesthetically pleasing as well to the eye. On March 9th, I finished a book called Rascal by Sterling North. This was my husband Ben's favorite book when he was a child, and so he really wanted me to read it, and it was so entertaining reading this book. It's about a boy who has a pet raccoon, and it's actually a memoir, and the whole time I was reading it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is exactly who my husband wishes he was as a boy, just because of all the activities that they enjoy and get into. So I decided to just print out a picture of the cover of the book that I read, and then I also found this little image of a raccoon, so I printed that out as well. And I put this little bird sticker here because I thought it was cute how the raccoon looked like it was reaching for something, and I kind of liked the way that it was almost playing with the bird. And that actually is kind of a scene within the book, so it worked out really, really well. And then I watered my plants this day, so I put one of my little plant illustrations from my printables on here, and then this little watering can is one of my printables as well. And if you don't know what I mean when I say one of my printables, I have a Patreon page where different people like you who want to support my channel and my video content can choose to join our family over there. And in return, as a thank you, I give different rewards like printable sheets that I put out every month. And when you join, you don't only get access to that month's content, but also all of the content that's been published thus far. So basically, when you join, you get access to more than 50 printables at this point, and I think over 40 videos. Basically, there's just a ton of content there waiting for you if that interests you. And as we go forward, I'll share with you some images of my more recent printables as well. But that's basically how I created this page. And then here is just a little quote from the book that I read as well. So if you are a reader, I definitely recommend having fun when you finish a book, really representing it in your journaling. Here is again a really simple page, just my journaling, a little journaling card that says life is lovely, and then a few little stickers about just enjoying the sunshine. These two spreads are two of my favorites from this month. I just really, really love the way that they look. I love the balance that they have and the colors, and basically when I'm journaling, I feel like this is the ultimate style that I'm going for. There's not too much to share here. I used my number stencil to do the dates here, and then mostly this is journaling, but just a few layering of washi tape and stickers. These stickers are all from the Indigo and Ivy set from Pink Paisley. So these I believe I might have in my Amazon shop that I have linked down below for you guys. And then this sticker that you see here and this one are both from my printable sets as well. This is from my Tiny Little Pleasures printable, which was a really fun one to create. I will put an image of that one up here on the screen so you can see all of the illustrations that that one comes with. But that one, I got different ideas from my patrons of what they consider to be the tiny little pleasures they enjoy in life, and we were able to create a really fun set of illustrations to play with in our journals from their recommendations. And then over here, these are all printables as well, and these ones are from my Homebody collection, which was last month's printables, and I love these ones because I think a lot of us are just spending a lot of time at home right now. I know I certainly am, so these ones were great because I knew that I personally was going to get a ton of use out of them, and so I really love this one. That is just a really big, beautiful abstract piece that then says, there is nothing like staying at home for real comfort, which is a quote from Jane Austen's Emma. And I just put the temperature on there because things were starting to warm up at this time. And I have this little great sticker here that says sunshine on my mind. And I believe this is from my Paige Evans sticker book. Yes, so this sticker is from the hashtag sticker book by Paige Evans from American Crafts. Highly recommend this one too, which is also linked in my shop down below. And on this day, I finished another book. This one was called The Storm on Our Shores by Mark Abmasik, I think that's how you say his last name. But this was a really fabulous book about World War II and the kind of unknown battle that happened on American turf in Alaska. So really, really interesting book if you're interested at all in World War II. As I mentioned before, I was doing artwork in preparation for our church's women's retreat. And then here we have the entry for our women's retreat. So I again used those big stencils to do women's retreat as a title for this page, really big in the center. And I love the way that that looks. And then I also just put a few stickers on here from my Faith sticker book. So these stickers are from the Happy Planner Faith sticker book from Me and My Big Ideas. And they also have a little mini version as well, which is really nice. If you don't want the full version, there are some really beautiful stickers in here as well. So I have both, of course. And then this entry is a really fun chatty journal with me that I have available on my Patreon page as one of our exclusive videos. So if you want to see how this entry came together, you should definitely check out my Patreon. But basically, on this day, I enjoyed sitting out on our deck and reading, and also got to FaceTime with some friends and just used some fun printables again on this one and a little tip-in card to put my journaling down. This entry represents our spring break for my work. I work at a college, so we got Monday off on the 15th. So I spent a lot of this day doing some of my own writing, working on my book, and just enjoying a few of my favorite things. So I used some of my little printables here to represent that and had a lot of fun with layering on this page. I've definitely become a fan again of the little doodly stars. I feel like they're something that make their way in and out of my journaling, where I'll be doing them all over the place for a while and then I'll stop. And now they're back. They're back. March has brought them back. So you can see them here on this entry. And then I did the same thing over here to fill any of the dead space. And this page, by the way, for the 16th is probably my favorite. And it really came about pretty haphazard. I was just putting stuff down very randomly. But I really like the way that this page is laid out, that it's divided in half with my journaling all on one side. And then all of these fun representations through either illustrations or hand lettering. I have different big moments of my day represented, like doing a journal with me for my Patreon exclusive and making apple crisp and vanilla ice cream here. And then I also had an impromptu phone call with one of my best friends, which this little carry-on phone journaling card was perfect for that. So I just love the look of this, and I find that often in my journaling, I do my journaling across the whole page and really kind of split my pages in half in that way, where I'll have, you know, things kind of divided, but it's very horizontally laid out. So this was a fun way to break that up. So that's something to keep in mind as well. If you're trying to try out different styles and switch things up, is think about unique ways or different ways from what you're currently doing to divide up your page and change up your layouts. Here is St. Patrick's Day. And here on this page, I had a lot of fun creating this kind of banner with different washi tapes and stickers that were green or had sort of a St. Patty's vibe to them. And then I wrote here in the middle of the page the prayer of St. Patrick. And then below just did really, really simple journaling because I really didn't have actually that much to say about my St. Patrick's Day, but I thought it was fun to still represent it visually on the page. Here again is one of my favorite entries because I love the way it's laid out and it has a very minimalist vibe to it and just the way things are layered and done. So I have my little date at the top with a sticker, my stencil, some alpha stickers to write out Thursday, and then this little rain sticker because it was a very rainy day. And then over here I had these little cloud die cuts that I put on the page and just drew some raindrops. And I had hot chocolate on this day, so I had this cute little hot chocolate sticker that I put on here, and then I just wrote "Don't forget the whipped cream" on it. And in the middle I put a little quote that says, "Rain will make the flowers grow," which, if you're familiar with the musical Les Mis, it's from that. And then here I have one of my favorite little printables of a girl all wrapped up in a quilt reading by a big window, and it was sort of a snowy window scene, so I just took out my white gel pen and did little horizontal white lines to make it more about rain than snow. So that's a fun way that you can kind of play around with printables and stickers to make them what you want them to be to fit what you are actually journaling about. So you don't have to take things necessarily as they are. You can be creative to switch them up. Here I had fun playing with some brown craft paper from just an old paper bag and did white gel pen over it for my journaling, and then just did some doodling and some alpha stickers and numbers and a few of my homebody printables on this page with some of my new washi tape, and did that to create that page. Not much to it. And then over here was a really fun day because this was my kind of birthday celebration with my friends that my husband put together for me, and we went out for dinner to our favorite Indian bistro near us, and the food was so good, and we had the entire place to ourselves and nobody else was there, which was perfect. And so yeah, we enjoyed Indian food, and I, before they came over, enjoyed a beautiful walk, and just the flowers were blooming and it was just a gorgeous day. So I just was fully in my element in enjoying this day. And then they came back and we played a little game, and it was just a really wonderful time in fellowship. So I really wanted to represent that with bright colors and these bright sunny colors that I have here, and then this great little journaling card and lots of photos. And these are actually cut out from one of their takeout menus. So I took one of the takeout menus to cut apart to use in my journal. So always recommend doing that when you eat out, is get either a takeout menu if you can, or sometimes they have paper napkins with their logos on it. Things like that can be a really fun addition to your page. And then I just have a tip in and have tons of journaling underneath because this was a day where I really wanted to write down all of the details. So really fun page to represent my birthday celebration. And then March 21st is another one of my favorite entries. I love the colors in this entry and also just everything that it represents because it was a really lovely, beautiful spring day. We really focused on slowing down and enjoying ourselves. So we went to church like we always do. And then afterwards, I spent a lot of time out on the deck reading, and I'm currently reading The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. So I put this little sticker down and did some lettering to represent that. And these stickers are all from this new book sticker pack that I got. So here is the sticker book. It is by Planners Anonymous, and it is basically just a book-themed sticker book. I don't think Planners Anonymous names their stickers. At least I don't see a name on here. So anyhow, but look for the one that has little books at the top. This is kind of how they name their stickers, is they have a little representation of what is inside here in the corner. But these are such beautiful illustrations, all related to reading. So if that's something you're into, highly recommend this one. So these are all stickers from that. And then I had this little piece of paper that I have been coveting for quite some time and decided to finally use it to represent the fact that on a walk we went on later this day, we heard spring peepers and actually went out to find their pond and heard them super up close. And oh my goodness, you have not heard a deafening sound until you have been right next to a pond where spring peepers are just going off. They are incredibly loud. Their chirps can be heard up to a half a mile away. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, spring peepers are just little frogs. They're like this big and they make the loudest sound. It's truly incredible. And so I just wrote down a few quick facts about spring peepers here and did a little illustration of a spring peeper there in the corner with my white gel pen, and I just love this little addition. And I just think that's another great journaling idea, is to bring in some nature journaling into your journal. So if you are out and about on a walk and see a really interesting critter or bird or something, that you can maybe go home and look it up later and just look up some quick facts about that animal, or use it as a learning opportunity basically. And it's just a really cool thing to add into your journal. Here on this page, I just used a few stickers again to basically represent that spring is finally here. Not much to say about this particular day, but I do like this little outline that I did. I thought that was a really simple, quick, and easy touch that kind of brings the whole page together. And then here is the 23rd, which is my actual birthday, so March 23rd. I turned 27, and I cut this out from the birthday card that my brother gave me, and it has a cool kind of reflective quality to it. And then I just printed out a collage of different photos that I took on this day. So my close friends sent me some really beautiful little gifts. I got some chocolate covered strawberries, which was wonderful, and a really beautiful bouquet from some of my coworkers. And then that evening, we made reservations to go out to eat with my immediate family and just had a really delicious dinner. And so I just represented that on the page. And then here is just a little card from the edible arrangement that my friend sent me. And I also cut out the ribbon that was wrapped around the edible arrangement as well and stuck that in here. Here, there's not much to say about this entry. I just used some washi tape and a little journaling card, and then again, that big stencil to write out Bible study, because on this day I went to it, you guess, Bible study. And then on this entry, again, really, really simple. Another little journaling card that is a scripture, a little printout that I put here, and then I drew a little tea bag and did some washi strips in the center and put the little tea tag on it again. This time I glued it down into one place though so that it's not moving around. And here I used my smaller number stencil to do the date. Over here on Friday, we went to a local church's fish fry. It was basically just a drive-through where you could drive through and pick up the fish and things that they make as a fundraiser. So we got some really good fish and chips, and that is basically what this whole sheet is just a representation of their little menu that they had, and then I did my journaling down the side. On the 27th, my cousin got married finally, and she was able to have an outdoor wedding. She is one of the poor victims of the pandemic who was trying to get married and kept having to reschedule, and finally she was able to have her wedding. And so I just represented that here on the page with some journaling cards and some doodles, and then a fun little paper of some wedding cakes that I cut out with a scallop edge. Over here on the 28th is one of my favorite entries as well. It kind of just came together nicely. I had this big journaling card, and I wanted to represent the fact that I've been loving seeing the different trees start to bud on my walks. So I put this little journaling card down and then wrote a little poem here by Christina Rossetti called Spring. And then I also, because on this day there was a lot of rain happening, and we ended up going for a little walk in the woods after the rain where everything was dripping. So I used this great stencil that I have to do a blue background, and then it basically has the trees cut out, and I did little lines of the trees to make it really come to life. I will show that a little bit more up close so you can see what I mean. So basically the stencil covers up this part, and so you basically do the background, and then the trees are the white part, and I just like to add little doodles to really make them look like trees. And then I did little raindrops coming down on them, some little hand lettering, and then I also did some hand lettering here at the bottom for mac and cheese with these two little mac and cheese bowl stickers that were perfect for this page because obviously that's what we had for dinner. And these are from the Create 365 food sticker book, which is perfect for me and my journaling because most of my journaling ends up talking about food at some point. And then here is another day that is really kind of focused on the fact that spring is coming. As you can tell, I was very happy that spring kind of came early this year. There are definitely some years in Pennsylvania where you're getting snow at the end of March, but this was one of the years where we were getting daffodils at the end of March. So I was just so glad for the warm weather and the promise of spring. And so I've really represented that a lot on these pages with my stickers and journaling cards. And then I also got to FaceTime with a friend, so I have this little phone sticker down here and some washi tape. And then over here, my friend that I actually FaceTimed with the day before sent me her birthday gift for me, and she sent it with this cute little card that I just stuck in here and did some designs on the outside to represent the day that I was journaling. And then just did some stickers and things in kind of like a very collage-like style page. And I did a little illustration of the mug that she gifted me for my birthday, which is definitely my new favorite mug. I shared it on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, you should definitely do that because I do more kind of behind the scenes and peeks into my life. So that's at abiding_Kelsey Lee. You can find me there and follow me. I share my journaling and everything there too, but you also get to see a little bit more of my daily life. And if you are already following me, you saw me share this mug, and you'll definitely be seeing more stories featuring this mug over on Instagram. And then that brings us, friends, to the final entry for March, which of course is the 31st. And this was a pretty simple entry where I just worked my way down the page and put down a few little items just to represent little parts of the day, like half-priced pizza night, because we got half-priced pizza on that day. Surprise, surprise. And then again, there was some more rain this day, so I had this great little rain go away sticker. And then at the bottom here, I started to finish another audiobook. So I just put down this I love audiobooks sticker from my newest collection over on Patreon, which is a book-themed collection of illustrations. It is called I Rather Be Reading, and my patrons picked this wonderful color palette for it that's really bright and cheerful and gave me suggestions for what types of illustrations they'd like to see. So I had so much fun putting this together, and as a voracious reader myself, I am already loving getting to use these in my own journal. But those are available now on my Patreon, along with all of the other illustrations that I have shared with you throughout these different entries, because I definitely create things for patrons that I know I personally will love to use, and I do in fact use them all the time in my journaling, which is why you see them throughout my journal entries. So I hope that you've enjoyed this flip through, but now that we've gotten a chance to see a peek into all of my spreads for March, I've been doing something this year where I want to also be able to share the creativity of our amazing community by taking a peek at some of your amazing entries. So let's go ahead and do that now by taking a look at everything you've been creating this March in your abiding journals.
And we just sing.
Away with your creativity and your talent and your persistence too, because the fact that we've been doing this for 3 months is definitely something to be proud of. And with that said, it is also never too late to join. So even if you have not touched your journal so far this year, even if you've never even considered journaling before, you can join us in this journey and start right now. So I would encourage you to do that. Watch more of my videos for some inspiration. So definitely make sure that you subscribe and join the Abiding fam to see more and keep in touch with everything we're doing here. And if you enjoyed this particular flip through, please do give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below letting me know what your favorite entry was in this flip through, or just what you've been up to in your own journal. I would love to hear about it. And if you choose to join us in this journey, please do use the hashtag MyAbidingJournal2021 so that we can follow along in your journey, and maybe you'll be featured in our next flip through. So until then, friends, thank you so much for watching, and keep exploring your abiding creativity and document a life abiding in faith, hope, and love.